Okay, we're trying this again with a new link to see if this works a little bit better. I'm trying to see if I'm streaming and... Hey, it works! It's a little bit of a delay, but I can live with that. Okay. Oh, goodness. All right. I'm going to have to do everything I was doing just a second all over again. Woots. Thanks. Hey, Mr. Barnett. Sup? All right, hey. Nice. I did a new link. Javen was the one who fixed it for me, or told me that it wasn't working. So we're good to go. All right, so welcome. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm a little bit behind schedule now because of all that. All right, so I don't know if anybody saw anything I posted, so I'm literally going to start over again because of everything. So welcome to our first day of NTI. How's everybody doing? Lance, sup? Yeah, it's been interesting, hasn't it? Gotta have that sweet coffeeness. Okay, so welcome to NTI. So just to clarify, seeing as people are seeing this, I'm assuming that you guys are getting updates from Google Classroom. Hang on, I'm getting emails like crazy while I'm doing this too, so I'm gonna check some of this nonsense while we're working. Now live your YouTube channel. Yep. Okay, that's the idea. I don't care what other people are saying that they're going to do. That's strange. Some people are having some things. Yeah, not really. I can feel you there. Okay. So here's the deal of what we're doing. Basically, from what I'm seeing and everything going on, there's no way we're going to be able to do anything I originally planned on doing. There's too much work to do. Sup, Devin? And there's not enough time. I will say we got through quite a lot more than I'd originally anticipated. So I'm not... Javen, my guy, welcome. Thank you, by the way, Javen, for letting me know that what wasn't working and everything else like that. You're largely responsible for actually getting this online. So claps for you. Anyways, so what I was saying is that, long story short, we're going to be using these JCPS choice boards. I was kind of hesitant to do it because, I wanted to do something that was more pertinent to U.S. history specifically. But, I mean, we're in basically unprecedented frontier here, using NTI days the way we are and basically having like online schooling for an entire district our size. So we're just going to kind of take this easy and be really patient. All right, so before I get into stuff for the work, anybody in the chat, does anybody have questions about grades or things like that? Because basically what I'm planning on doing is going back through everything you guys have done. So I've got like, this is like first period stack, right? I'm going to go back and add in the stuff that is missing or that you guys have done already for makeup work. And then from that point on, I'm basically just going to have it so it's such a way that you guys have a mark for something, even if it's not turned in. That's not 100% fair for those who did in class, but well, that's kind of what I'm addressing right now, Javen, is that everyone's going to automatically start with a passing grade. And then the way it's going to work is like if it was missing, it would normally be a 0. It's going to be a 60. If it is turned in, you get full credit for that. And then beyond that, the grades should get boosted to a point where everybody's passing and we're in a pretty good state. So basically, whether or not you pass High school will be depending on, do you do the NTI work? So the grades are going to get boosted. Now, right now, just to clarify to you guys, they are really not sure how to handle this. Originally, the plan was to just go pass, fail. So literally everybody would either pass or they would not. Grades would not even be a thing anymore. The problem with that is keys money. How does that work if you just have a pass? And so they're not really sure what they're going to do. So long story short is I'm going to put these grades in, get everything kind of squared away with that. I'm going to start working on them here in about 30 minutes or whatever when the stream's over. And then by the end of this week, everybody should be updated. If there's still problems with grades, I'll work with you guys one-on-one. All you got to do is email me and we'll figure something out. I just want to make this as easy and painless as possible for everybody, given that we're in a difficult time. Okay, so what choice boards am I talking about and all that sort of thing? So the problem I have that's unique in my class compared to some others is that y'all aren't all freshmen or sophomores or juniors or seniors. It's a mix of everything. So I can't just say like, oh, do your grade level choice board and that'll be that. I mean, I can, and certainly if you want to do that, that's fine. But I think maybe it'd be a little bit easier if you guys all just did the 10th grade one. There's no reason not to. The district has said you can literally do pretty much any choice board in high school. So like, yeah, seniors, you could do freshmen. It's not a big deal. So that's what I'm going to kind of look at here. So what I've chosen to do is the very first box that kind of deals with society and social studies. I mean, social studies is the study of society. And what we're going to do is what makes a society better off. So looking at that, we kind of have to add what I mean by factors. What are 10 factors that make society better? And so it can be really anything that makes up society. So like, for example, freedom is one that we often throw around for the United States. It can be opportunity. It can be community. Any kind of one-word summary of something that makes up society. So, I mean, literally, there's no wrong way of answering it. It's just, what's your opinion? So, like, for example, one of the things, I think about is freedom, because without it, you can't really have a democracy. Freedom, the whole idea is that you create a society based on people's ability to come from different backgrounds, to have different ideologies, to have different places in ideas, and because of that, you merge them together to create something that's stronger. I think I've told you this before, and if I haven't, well, I'm just going to say it again regardless. Originally, the motto of the United States was E pluribus unum, which in Latin means from many, one, as in from many people, one people, from many religions, one people, from many nationalities, one people. It's the idea is that we're creating a new society out of many different ones. And so what you would do is create this society made up of different people. Okay, so the second part of the question is, for everything on that list, explain how we as a person, family, friendship group, community, Kentucky, United States, whatever, how can we make that a reality? So in the case of the United States, when it became a thing, we said, well, you have freedom. It's freedom of what? What does freedom mean? And so we went on to try to explain it, because the Constitution really didn't explain individual freedoms very well. So that's where the Bill of Rights came in and said, well, you have the freedom of religion, the freedom of speech, the freedom of property, and not having to quarter soldiers on it against your will, that sort of thing. So it explained it. So you would answer that case like freedom dash make laws to protect freedoms. That's all you got to do for that. And then you just do 10 of them. So, basically we can kind of spitball some ideas of other things that make society better. Opportunity, I think, comes to mind, guaranteeing that people have the opportunity to succeed regardless of who they are. Someone ideally in our society should be able to be anybody. In other words, you should be able to become president of the United States or head of a Fortune 500 company or whatever you desire to be if you put forth the work and the effort to do so. So, fretting for graves of opportunities. So I'm going to go ahead and ask. Should I go ahead and do? Yes, Javen, I would just go ahead and do that one because it's based on class, not necessarily doing the whole choice board. I was confused by that as well because I was like, oh, say it's like tic-tac-toe, or is it like got to do all? No, literally, it's just here's a bunch of assignments to do. Yeah, so it's strange. I know. That's one of the reasons I thought about not doing that, but then I was like, this will make it easier, especially because I don't know if everybody's got a computer right now. I don't know if everybody's got an ability to actually do this online thing. So I'm just trying to make it easy. And these paper copies are going to be out for getting individual copies to people at the food drop-off sites and things like that. So this just makes it easier. Okay. Any other questions about the assignments you guys have right now? Okay. Lance is asking, so we can do 1 box a day. No. In point of fact, the way this is working, if you do this 1 box, that's your work for the week. So you do 1 assignment a week per class. So like, let's say you do What Makes Society Better Off today for me. You're done with U.S. history till next Tuesday, till I give you something else. Does that make sense? Yeah, it's like I said, it's going to be okay. So again, we understand a lot of you guys are probably also trying to work and get stuff done. So you know what? We're not going to. Okay, I can't speak for everybody. I'm not going to load you down with junk. I'm going to be available, and I'm going to be real with you. I've got 2 kids upstairs who need my support too. So I'm just kind of here to help you guys out and make certain you guys get something without overwhelming you. Yeah, word. Well, it's been a whole thing. And the other thing, and the reality is, that's fine, Javen. Cool. That's fine. Just turn that in, and that'll be totally okay. But one of the things I was going to say is that like a bunch of you guys, I don't know what your situation is right now. Like, I've got a friend who's in Ohio, and she had basically like a kidney cancer. It's not exactly cancer, but it's for all intents and purposes like that. And she's immunocompromised because of her drugs. Well, guess what? She got COVID. So she was in the hospital, and we were freaking out. And her husband, dude, I mean, he was having a bad time, and we're, all the way in a different state and trying to help out as best we can. And, thankfully she's doing good. She's out of the hospital and recovering, but it's just like people are dealing with just terrible stuff here. So no, we're not going to be completely bonkers here and load you guys down with work. That's asinine. Excuse me a sec. All right. So anyways, it's going to be easy. So how do you share it with me? Okay, there's a bunch of different ways you can do that. The easiest way is if you go on Google Classroom and you click on the assignments page or the classwork page. You click on the assignment, and then you just turn it in. You can do it that way either way. If you just want to do it on Google Drive and share it with me, that's fine too. It really doesn't matter. As long as I can read it, you're fine. If you want to take a picture of it and send it to me in email, that's fine. I don't care. Like I said, you got a week, so do whatever is best for you. All right. So any other questions about the assignment? Okay, let's look at some weapons. So one of the things I talked to you guys about doing is some of the stuff I have, the artifacts, like I couldn't bring in because of, laws and stuff. Well, we're not in a school right now. So this is something I wanted to show you guys at one point. This is a Spartan Laconia, which is a type of sword. And one thing that's kind of interesting about it is this is facts. These guys were what was used in ancient Greece. It's called a xiphos, and the blade itself, you see, is actually quite short. The reason behind that is making steel is actually really difficult for a lot of reasons. Basically, you can make it either really hard or really soft. And if you make a sword that's really soft, obviously it's not going to hold an edge and it'll bend. It's like waving a noodle around. And if you make it too hard, it'll shatter the second it hits something. It's got to be flexy, bendy. So part of making good steel is making it so that it will bend and it's flexible, but at the same time is sharp along the edges. So that's why in when they made Japanese katanas, they would actually layer clay on it so that parts would cool faster than others, and you would end up with something that was basically hard on the edge, so you could get a sharp edge to it for slashing, but it was softer on the inside, so it would flex on the on striking things, and it wouldn't break essentially. But yeah, so you have smaller blades because of that, and then also because they were fighting with shields and close proximities. You can't have like a wide weapon. You're not going to be able to do these huge slashes because you're basically shoulder to shoulder with somebody. So you have like a stabbing weapon. So you would gut somebody up from beneath, or you could come as an overhead strike, but typically you're not going to do that with a sword. Best jobs, that's tough to answer. It was definitely a well-respected job. You could get paid very well. The problem is a lot rides on your work. So like if you make, say, armor for the king and it breaks and he dies, you're going to probably be executed. So, I mean, there's a lot of stress. But the ones who made the best work were going to get paid the most. So, yeah, you could actually find a lot of respect. And considering peasants were the ones who became blacksmiths, yeah, that was a pretty good job. This specific one, no. This is actually a replica from one that was in a museum. I believe it's in the Royal Arms Museum in England. This one was actually given to me by my wife on our first anniversary because, that's how we roll. Anyways, but yeah, I always had a thing with Spartan culture whenever I was in college and things like that. I always thought it was sort of an interesting society because they were the first truly militarized one that focused on having professional soldiers. Everybody else was using citizen soldiers, basically people who are like farmers and whatever. It's like, this is a thing. So, all right, so let's move on some timeline. So that's a Spartan sort of word. And I'm going to step back for this one. This is a medieval short sword or broadsword. Sup, Olivia? So this is what's called an Oakeshott Type 13. Oakeshott was a historian who specialized in like medieval swords, and he started like characterizing different things about them. Like, so for example, this cross guard here, the pillions, were this kind of like crescent moon sort of shape, and then the shorter handle, and then the wide blade that goes into its taper. So this type of sword was used around the Crusades and kind of like earlier medieval, because at that point, swords typically were being used as slashing weapons. You definitely had a point, and you could use the point, but if you're fighting with a shield and you're bashing at somebody with it, you want something that's thicker to absorb the impact. However, as armor became thicker, and you had more of a breastplate design. One second. Something like this, that's made up of steel plates, you're not going to get through that by just punching at it with something heavy. So they had to kind of improvise different ways of getting around that. One of them was by using big two-headed weapon pole arms type things like mallets and things like that. And then the other thing is by having more tapered blades. One of the strategies in fencing that came about during this period was called half sorting. So basically, you take like your little mitts right here. Basically, yeah, it's the long and the short of it. And you would take it and pinch the blade, and then you'd fight like this and use almost like a knife to get in at the little bits and bobs, like here and into the armpit through the heart and things like that. So I mean, the fact is that you had a lot of different ways of going about that. And of course, helmet design changed pretty dramatically over the years as well. So, just some helmets to look at. This is a Roman helmet. This is for a centurion, I believe. And you got this nice baller horse comb thing. What are pirate swords called? Okay, so pirates used a variety of different swords. It depended largely on what they were doing. The most common of which was called a cutlass, which comes from an older infantry sword, or called a hanger or a cut toe. And the reason was because I think it had something to do with the shape. Actually, I don't remember why they called it that. But basically, it was a curved, thick-bladed sword. Javen. Oh, dude. Anyways, so they would use that as basically a bashing weapon. The reason is that ships' decks are filled with stuff, lots of lines and things like that. And so you don't want something that's a big slashing weapon. You just want like a butcher's weapon. So that's actually one thing they got really right in the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie. Johnny Depp's character, Captain Jack Sparrow, if you look at his fencing stance whenever he first fights William Turner in the blacksmith shop, he gets really low and has the sword as like a slashing weapon where he's like hammering at Mr. Turner. And Bill Turner's using like a small sword design, which is like a stabbing weapon. And he's able to get away with it to some extent, but he also gets a lot of swords knocked out of his hands. Yes, they did. In fact, it's kind of funny because a lot of different cars are either named after wild animals or weapons. Anyways, I used to have a cutlass around here somewhere. I'm not really sure where it is at the moment. Basically, you probably tell from the junk in view, we're doing some renovations in the house and trying to get stuff rearranged. That's how we're staying busy. Oh, look at my big old fat chin. Blah, blah, blah. Anyways, so yeah, so that was a little bit of show and tell. I thought about doing some World War II stuff if I get a chance as well. So yeah, we got about 20 minutes. What are you guys up to? Are you doing work on cars? I hope so. To be fair, I've been playing a lot of League this past week, so fair game. Sup, Paul? I sold my musket actually. The reason I did that is because I had essentially a rifle. It was a little tiny dude. I say tiny. It was about yay long. And holy smokes, I was messing. You bought an AR-15. Okay. At least you're not like my brother-in-law. He bought 3. I don't know why, especially because 2 of them were chambered in the exact same round, but whatever. So anyways, playing World of Warcraft. Hey, my brother's playing a lot of WoW right now since they're going back there. We used to play a lot of that back in the day. Just want to flex. Like, you're probably right, Devin. Well, that and he just buys things randomly. Like I think he spent like $3,000 on a drone. He's flown it twice. It's like, why? I don't know. It's kind of wanted tax monies. Of course, I can't say much. I think we're going to use part of our stimulus money to buy it and build a chicken coop. So, shrug. Anyways, so that's hardcore flex. Imagine flexing that hard. Yeah, no doubt. So fun fact, I've actually done that because the chicken. Well, maybe not quite like in Zelda because I've literally thrown them in the mountains, but yeah, I would toss chickens off the fence occasionally because they like, for whatever reason, they like to sit on top of my fence instead of in the coop, and they got eaten. So go figure. Which is kind of upsetting because I wanted to eat my chickens. Stupid coyotes. Anyways. So yeah, I think I think I might need to play some more League here in a minute. Got to get them stats up on rookie numbers. I also spent a big chunk of last week playing Cuphead with my daughter, which we beat it. What have I been getting into over the break? Well, like I said, I've been playing Cuphead with my oldest daughter. We did, let's see, what else? A lot of yard work, trying to get all that under control. And yeah, for real, Lance, no doubt. Because Cuphead is already nearly impossible, and then when you add in a second player, everything gets twice the amount of health, and one of those players sometimes just decides, I'm just going to become a small plane and just sit at the bottom corner and let you do all the damage. It becomes a bit of a chore. However, I will say this, I've now basically beaten most of the game now with perfect scores because now I can dodge everything like a boss. Low-key internet flexing. Imagine loving Cuphead. Anyways, so yeah, we did that. Just otherwise, just doing all kinds of crazy shenanigans. What are you guys doing? You already answered. I already answered that question. Lots of video games, it sounds like. And here comes Emerson. So, that's Emerson's giraffe. It's missing its eyes and its face and its antlers. I guess they have antlers. Ossicones, I think is what they're actually called.
Hi, what is your name?
No, Javen, that definitely happened.
Your name is David. Hi, David.
Mm-hmm.
I was coming down. Hi. Daddy!
Oh, gosh.
Swords laying on the ground.
Because we're talking about swords, bro.
Can I hold a sword?
No, you can't hold a sword.
Why?
They're dangerous.
So?
You're dangerous.
So?
I
just want to hold a sword.
No. I need you guys to wave and say, hey, then you need to go back and do some
I want to
stuff.
hold a sword.
Later, when you're older.
I want to hang out with you, Dad.
Why would you want to hang out with me?
Also, I got you. Dad, I love you. Also, I got you on level 18.
Oh, sweet. Good job.
And hi. And also, I'm doing a quest that's quite dangerous.
Okay. What's the quest you got to do?
I have to go in a room.
You have to go in the ruins? You have to fight a dragon?
No.
Okay.
And guess what I did?
What'd you do?
I bought something that will help with the HP.
Oh, did you?
Yeah.
What was it?
So
I don't want to guess. I want you to tell me.
So it's basically a spell that you can do on yourself.
Oh, really?
And it heals you.
Oh, that's a great idea.
Automatically.
Boom, heads up.
But it takes a lot of magic from you.
Okay, that's cool.
So you can't do anymore.
Right, so you gotta hit people.
Then you have to sleep to get more.
Well, if you hit people with your sword, you'll get more magic points. All right, go.
Okay.
Shut the door on your way out.
Why are there swords?
Why aren't there swords? Emerson, no. No, you got to go back upstairs, y'all. No, I've not been playing Animal Crossing. So the game that we were just talking about is my eldest daughter's like obsessed with cats. And while I was poking around to see what was on sale on the Switch channel, there's a game just called Cat Quest, where you are a cat knight running around and fighting things. $3, yes, please. So she's been having fun with Cat Quest. Not going to argue that point. Why are we lucky you're grounded from everything, Lance? Are you trying to like low-key internet flex on us? Are you playing Madden? What are you playing? Silence. Silence. Again. Okay, that's fair. So you actually have to do work? Oh, roasted. Quarantine. I believe you would beat me, Paul, because literally all I would run is the option, nothing else. Because that's the only play you need, right? It's got throws, it's got runs, it's everything. Just run the option, nothing else. That's actually a terrible idea. Well, yeah, because it's an essential business. People got to get them cars fixed. Mm. Putting in them hours. What would you say is the most common thing you have to do, Jaden? I hear in the background, I don't know if you can hear that, but my kiddo is sitting there with like a music box that's playing like a lullaby music. Yeah, that makes sense. Emerson, upstairs. Are you getting no supper? Let's see, new. No, I'm playing back. Well, like I said, I've been playing League like nonstop just because there was a new patch pretty recently, and there's another one en route. So I've just been kind of messing about that. Oh, okay. Lance? You seriously want me to play the bagpipes right now? Because I'll do that. Got my music stand and everything. Okay, give me a second. I just want everyone to blame Lance for this, what you're going to have to experience. Boo this man. Boo. I also want to point out that Mrs. Mudd is still asleep. So that's what we've been up to. Let's see. All So there you go. Are you happy now, Lance? What else should we do? There's other tunes we can play. What are you talking about, Paul? You're doing all my work, right? Boy. That's what I need to play is God of War. Or should we say Dad of Boy? All right, so we're coming about to the end of the stream. About 5 minutes to go. So basically my plan of attack is every I don't know, Monday or Tuesday, whatever, around noon, do this sort of thing. And get in contact with y'all this way. I'll be making some phone calls here to some folks just to make certain that they're in good standing and they know what's what and all that. But basically, whenever I assign in a new assignment, probably just do it Tuesdays. Just do a new assignment, come on here, answer any questions, things like that. Yeah, God of War is good, like legit. God of War, the latest one, I forget what number it is, to be honest, 4 or 5, something like that. Anyways, Dad of Boy, it's really good. And anyways, I'll be calling some folks and just trying to keep that. But otherwise, I'll be here basically for this time. As we go through stuff, don't forget that I can email at all times. And at some point, I'll probably be putting out like my landline phone number. Facts. So you guys can call if you need to. But I'll be disabling that at some point in the day. So like basically 9 to 5 or whatever will be online. But we'll work on that. Don't know what I have more assignments turned in. Look at that. Let's see what we got going on. This is first period. Mr. Barnett, Sarah, Leah, Chase. Okay, cool. What about, let's check other periods. That's not what I'm trying to do here. Why you gotta make me look bad? Stupid dog. 2 turned in. Noise. Of course. All right, y'all. We got 3 minutes, so we still got some time. Not a whole lot, but enough time for the purpose. Oh, one thing I did, I think I said this, but I'm going to say it again just to make certain. So one of the things we're having to do is actually take attendance, believe it or not. So how does that work? Well, attendance is essentially, did you do the work? So if it's done, you get credit. If it's not done, you don't, and you're counted as tardy. I don't know what they're going to do with that, but basically it's just like I just get it done and you don't have to worry about it. I don't know. but I thought that was a little goofy. Now, one thing I will say is, like, so I'm gonna be checking this every day, and basically probably by the end of today, I'm gonna go through and look at my attendance list, and everybody who's turned it in, I'm gonna go ahead and give them credit for it and have it turned in, whatever. And then, I'm gonna keep going like that. So, like, if you wait till next Tuesday to turn it in, I will retroactively go back and say, yeah, you were here every day. Done. It's goofy, but whatever. That's how it's working. So hopefully that makes sense. Also, this is recorded, so obviously all this stuff will be available on YouTube. You can go back and see it. If you need to go listen to my sweet bagpipe tunes again, knock yourself out. That first one was what tune was that? Actually, I don't remember what I played. It was Hector the Hero. That's right. And the second one was Highland Cathedral. Yeah, that's fine. No worries, Jay. Like I said, you've got all till next Tuesday. It's not a big whoop. So just make certain it gets done. Your GDG. Okay. Okay, guys. Well, I think that about wraps this up. So hope you guys are having a good day and you're doing well. And if you need to reach out to me, please do. I'm here. I've got my phone on with my email, so shoot me messages, whatever you need. All right. You got questions, I got answers. I actually thought about setting up a class Discord for while we're playing games, but I was advised against doing so. So I'm not going to do that. So peace and be well, y'all. Take care.